Well, hi guys, we are back.
We are, where are we? We're back again.
We're back. We're back.
We haven't said that in a while.
I know, I know, I know. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I noticed that quite a few, quite a few more comments, Harry, on the copy and paste part one, which is probably our most viewed podcast so far. And we've been talking about doing a part two for quite a while. So we're going to call this one part two because we've got another way of explaining what we mean by copy and paste. In the original one, Harry, we talked about me copying everything from your computer and then loading onto mine, destroying what I didn't want. Well, if you notice, guys, when you look at a particular YouTube video that has been mirrored from somebody else. So if Harry was to put up a video on his channel and I was to download it on my computer and then upload it onto this channel, I would put whatever the title brackets mirror. Now, if I had editing software, which I don't, I could download Harry's video. I could change the bits that I don't want or delete the bits that I don't want and insert the bits that I want. So welcome to Genesis 1 creation story, as we said in
And,
part.
and that's where in the mirror, you can invert what you want. You can change certain things. And again, I'm not saying like when you take a picture on your phone, there's a feature where you can hit the camera and flip the image, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be the case. And that's where we see a lot of the quote unquote inversions.
Well, you've only got to look at the video when you got someone talking. I mean, this is my right shoulder. This is my right hand. But when you watch it on the video, it'll be inverted, right?
Mhm.
And the other thing that you mentioned earlier, Harry, before we started recording, was whoever did the mirroring, has to be aware of copyright strikes.
Mhm.
So there'll be certain things that would have been removed. And again, it reminds me of an old, I say it's a joke, but you know, when a group of scientists turn around to God and say, "Look, you can go. We don't need you anymore." And the God says, "Oh, really? Why is that then?" The scientist says, "Well, we've got this. You know, we can grow our own stuff and we can do this, that, and the other. We don't need you." And one of the scientists leans down and picks up a handful of soil, and the God figure turns around and says, "Oi, get your own fucking soil." Um, and it's amazing how some of these so-called jokes kind of fit into what is our, or what appears to be our real reality. So let me get into the presentation. Let me share this with you.
So right before you go onto that, that's kind of where you kind of creep into the reality of why some of these societies have to disclose certain things.
Yeah.
That's the copyright right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why they have to actually disclose to you what they're doing and why, and then they're absolved of responsibility and such.
Well, if we don't say no, then they assume it's what's called implied consent. If you're not
Yeah,
going to, you're not,
yeah,
yeah,
tacit agreement.
you
Yes.
know what I mean. I mean, you know, if a woman makes love to you, Harry, then it's not rape, is it? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we all go to school. We all go to school, and at school we have less ons, less on, less on, lesson. And if you don't do well, you become a more on, you know, less on, more on. Yeah. But a lesson is also called tuition, right?
Yep.
Well, tuition, what is intuition? Tuition being given by someone else, is tuition being given by yourself. Now, I put this picture in here because just to try and get you to think a second. Who taught birds how to build a nest?
No one.
Yeah. Who teaches a spider how to spin a web?
Oh, the spider knows how to do it before it's even out of the egg.
Absolutely. Intuition. We believe. We believe without question. And all of it is lies. So we've used this one before. What if I told you that you are the meme? And this has been bugging me for a while. I love this one. Universe, I have a plan for your life. Me, spirit guides. Perfect. I don't know if you've seen this, Harry, but
Yeah.
people, there are people out there that will believe this, right? Experts say it's always the experts, isn't it? How many
Hey,
millions?
don't blow that whistle because it'll
Yeah,
give me a heart attack. So swallow it.
absolutely. Yeah, just doing my job. All right. I knew years ago, when this thing was doing what he was doing, that it was all fake. But I just knew it was fake. But again, I was a sleeping zombie. But it's just all mockery, all of it.
That's the smartest guy.
Yeah, the smartest guy. Now, I was encouraged to watch this new movie. Now, this came out on February the 4th, 2-4, which is 6, in 2022, which is 6. So we have a double 6 there. Nothing to see here. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. Is it worth watching? Yes. Once you've seen this presentation, I suggest you watch the movie. Flickstore have changed their website. They've gone to another place. You still find it. There's no dot there anymore. It's actually flickstore.id now. And if you have any trouble watching movies on or getting to this site, then just get our VPN. 30% off. It's going to cost you $49 a year. Hide your IP address, your privacy, the whole thing. The links are always below the podcast. They'll be in the show
Yeah.
notes.
So yeah, Moonfall is not going to win any Oscars. Let's
No,
put it that way.
no.
And because it's so new, it's still on cam version, so it's not going to be a high definition one. So in a few months, it'll probably be released.
I didn't get a cam version. I got a full screen version.
No, but so you see that slotslight.com.
Oh yeah.
They run the ads on that version. So
Yeah.
in about a month or two, it'll be on the HD version.
Yeah. I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts, but the last 30 seconds of the movie are a real eye opener, aren't they, Harry?
Yeah, definitely eye opener. It's a truth drop that most people have to realize by now, because if you do, most of your fear will be gone.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's directly connected to this. We talked about this in another podcast. I forget which one it was. But in the West, we're taught that God is love. Okay, God is love. Well, in Chinese, love is this symbol. Now, if we look at the symbol in the dictionary, here it is at the top. Love is I. It's pronounced I, as in or I ni. AI. AI. We have affection, mu I, maternal love. Fu I, paternal love. Fu chi zhi I, conjugal love. So different kinds of love. We did a whole podcast on the different kinds of love, didn't we, Harry? A
Hey,
while ago.
that sounds a lot like fuck ZI, the conjugal one, right? They get to right to the point on these.
Yeah. So AI. All right. If you haven't seen this, this is a crap song. Welcome to the Machine. It's fucking rubbish. But if you don't like the music, turn the volume down and watch the video, because they're showing you right at the end. Connection to the moon. And many of us have seen this particular quote unquote map with all these broken continents. Well, this is the plasma, like the X-ray of the moon. Okay, And if you're not a follower of Vibes of Cosmos, you really should be. Most of his videos are quite short. You can see here, look, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. Many of his videos are very short, but they're very, very, very empowering. So what he talks about is taking this to this. This is what they appear to have done. And he labels all of the missing continents. How easy is it to remove something? Rhodesia, where did that go? Oh, it became Zimbabwe. Ceylon, where did that go? Oh, it became Sri Lanka. Did it? Why do they do this? So he's taken this particular part, the bottom right hand side. You can see there. There we go. Of the moon. Okay, you can see there. Right. And he's found all the seas, all the continents, all the countries. You can leave it. You can watch the video on his over on his channel. So you see how it's kind of inverted. Look at the one on the right compared to this is what we see apparently, unless it could be from whether we're in the northern or southern hemisphere. But here they are side by side.
You know, one way that you can hide that is to flip it and then invert it.
Well,
and then
that's what's
it's
happened.
so much,
yeah,
it's so much harder to kind of figure it out if you're looking at it upside down.
Yeah, well, that's what we're looking at here. Yeah, which is that, and then it's inverted. Okay, and then you've got all the continents and land masses all named.
Well, that's exactly, that inversion is exactly why that reflection is depicted in that one movie company that shows the reflection on the moon with the boy fishing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's exactly what.
Yeah. So what they've done is they've taken this particular section here with, you can see the ring. Can you see the rings around it, Harry?
Yeah, the red
rings. What they've done is they've grabbed that, which is that, and then they've done that. They parceled it up into that to make us think or believe.
Yeah, so they packaged it into a sphere.
Yeah, yeah. Remember this, Harry, from Superman. Yeah, the mirror, trapped in a mirror. It's no use. My hands go right through the machine like the condemned criminals in the Phantom Zone. I no longer exist on Earth. I have no physical effect on anything. If you watch the Moonfall video right at the end, you'll understand what this guy's talking about. So you've got people here showing that they're trapped in the mirror. Remember Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. Can't remember the name of the band, but there was another one. Here Comes the Mirror Man, whatever that was called. And we've got the references to the mirror in the Matrix movies, all of them. I don't know where I got this from. I think mirror. It's going to be biblical. We are the chosen. Well, are we the chosen, Harry? We are the fallen. Are we the fallen? I mean, you know, I still subscribe to the idea that we incarnated here this time around deliberately, like call it a rescue mission, call it whatever you want, but to try and kind of wake people up. Why did Jesus come to earth? Luke 9:56. For the Son of Man is not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And they went to another village. Now they always use this "and" in the Bible instead of "but." It should be "but they went to another village." In other words, they didn't listen. The Son of Man came not to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And they went to another village. He's basically telling you that these people ignored him. How many people are ignoring what's going on?
And hey, remember what where we saw the Matthew 18:11? We saw that in that picture that you used with the girl that had that inscription on the back of her jacket.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
sinners are welcome here.
All sinners are welcome here. Yeah.
That was the connotation for that that phrase.
1811, which is a 9/11. If you know, 8 and 1 is 9.
Yep, it's a 9/11. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at this. We were pulled into a false reality, a dimensional mirror that only filters and reflects based on personal bias through the protection of shadow mind. Can't make this up. And then thank you to the subscriber that emailed this over to me this morning. Apparently it's a movie called Another Earth. I've not had time to check it out yet. Actually in the middle of moving. So I've not had a chance to check it out yet. But thank you. I will check that out. Check this out later on. Is it another truth drop? I don't know. And for those interested, if you haven't watched this movie, or even if you have, go and watch it again. It's called Revolver with Jason Statham. If you follow Logan's work and how he talks about the voices in your head and that your thoughts are not your own and so on and so forth, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I watched it again last night. It's very, very good. It's only got like a 6.4 rating, and that's what they do to some of these movies that have got truth drops in them. They give them a poor rating so people think, oh, I'm not watching that, it's crap. So yeah, I'm off to Narnia. Harry, you want to go, mate?
I'm looking for the wardrobe door right now.
Yeah, me too. Insane, absolutely insane.
Well, this also kind of ties into that ballerina that looked in the mirror.
Yeah,
the dancer. Yeah. And look, in reality, we're the reflection. We're the one that can't dance. We're the one that, not to say that we're the one that's going to break the fingers of the real, but if it were for the controllers, the Yehudans, they're the ones twisting our fingers backwards and breaking the bones and eventually, feeding upon us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we have it. Essentially, if you watch Copy and Paste Part 1, where we talk about how the Bible tells us that we are living in a copy. I was watching I saw something this morning, Harry, popped up. Some Aboriginal guy from Australia was talking about how they have been purged because of their land, basically since 1788. Now, that's not too far off 1776. So, when you go down the rabbit hole, the mud flood rabbit holes and so on and so forth, and looking at gravestones in cemeteries, this whole thing's only going back 400 years. You know what I mean? 500 tops, absolute tops, when this whole thing took place. This mirroring, or this copy and paste, or whatever label we want to give it. It literally happened like 400 or 500 years ago, and some people would say not even that, 300 years ago. But it's certainly not 2,000 years ago that that the Bible wants to teach us. And if you want to get into the added 1,000 years, then somebody was saying that they added the 1,000 years in the 1700s, which again would fit, but I go with Flamenco's idea that it was like 1592, which makes a lot more sense. So yeah, the whole thing, it's like a hijack. It's like we're living in some kind of hijacked realm that is not real. I mean, if you look, Harry, if people look at what's going on right now around the world, and some of the news headlines, some of the things that's appearing on the quote unquote news, what experts are saying and all this, it's just a joke. It's all mockery. How people can take it seriously is beyond me. It really is.
I find it like you said, it's ridiculous. I find it hard to even listen to. I have in my car, I still have the news channels preset, and just for the fun of it, because I don't listen to the radio, I listen to podcasts on the phone. I'll just turn it on, and after just a minute, they're saying something. I just turn it off. I'm like, why should I listen to this? It's just it's a joke.
Yeah.
But going back to the Aboriginals, you know, there's the main reason why these Aboriginal people of Australia, of the American Indian Aboriginals, the reason they are attacked, you know, they were attacked in that 1700 realm, 1770s, whatever, by the colonials and by, of course, whoever had control of Australia too. Their goal was to exterminate as many of them as they could, and the ones that didn't, they would make them into alcoholics, and then just ruin them, and of course take away their lands and all that. So once you displace them, you force them to lose their culture, forget about their culture, and eventually forget about the knowledge that their spiritual being, because they're very spiritual, that they could carry with and then onto further generations. That the goal is prevalent even in our society, which we talked about, how from generation to generation, there's a gap of about 100 and some years where a lot of this history takes place, yet we're not interested in what our grandparents did. And we only live 80 some years. And then when you're 20 and your grandparents 80, you're not interested in finding out anything. There's very few who will actually go to grandpa and ask him, what did you used to do in this circumstance? And it would be an education far greater than any school could ever give if you sat there and listened to what they tell you.
I've got one of my students, senior 2 students, he would be 17, 18. He tells me all kinds of things that his grandpa's told him, and it's just like, wow.
To tell you and to teach you. So there's some things that you'll never learn. No art, no artisan, no craft, no way of doing something. You'll never learn that now. It's going to be lost. That 20-year gap between the 80s and the 100-year, you just lose it.
I mean, the other thing, the buying land idea has always intrigued me. I mean, if you went out and bought a piece of land, who are you buying it from? Who did he buy it from? Can you trace it back to the original? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, the crazy thing here in China's a huge country, but you can't buy land in China, right? You're not allowed to own land in China. You can't buy. You can buy an apartment, which is why most living here is apartment living, because you can't go out and buy land. You rent it from like farmers. They rent the land from the local government. So nobody actually owns any land here. But again, going back to 200 or 300 years, I want to buy that piece of land. Well, who owns it? Well, no one owns it. Well, how can I buy it? You know what I mean? It's crazy. What they did, they laid claim. Laid claim. This is our land now. If you want it, you got to buy it from me because we laid claim to it. That's how it all began.
Well, here in the United States, you can buy land, but the owner of the land gets what's called a grant deed, and that deed tells you who had it before you.
Yeah,
has your name on it now, and then you can trace it back. But there is a type of deed, and I can't for the life of me recall it right now. If someone's an expert in real estate, they could put it in the comments. But there is a particular deed that will trace all the way back to the origin of where that land was claimed.
Oh, wow.
And if you have that deed, you are even exempt from any taxes on that. Wow. So the reason why, even with a grant deed, you still pay property taxes is because in reality, you do not have you don't have a perfect title to that property. So
Well, maybe one of our awesome subs can know someone or is someone that can give us some more information on that.
yeah, I heard that on a podcast a few years ago, and that's why I don't remember it. But there's a
Okay.
specific kind of deed that gives you, that exonerates you from even taxing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for joining us once again. I hope this joins a few more dots for you and makes a bit of sense. Like, share, subscribe, mirror, do whatever you want. And comments below. Let us know what you think.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers,
Take care.
guys. Much
Bye.
love. Bye.